you're always right on the edge of culture, where things are going, and then you start leading it. How do you, and what's your strategy when you learn something? You just jump in, but how do you keep abreast of it, and then how do you make those decisions to say, I'm going to do?
It's a great question. I put in the work. Like, I'm gonna fly I got Vegas F1, right? A lot of business development this weekend coming up. I have a 5-hour flight at 8:30 in the morning on Friday. From 8:30 to 11:30 on that 5-hour flight, I'll get my work done, my email, this, that. The last 2 hours, I'll do all sorts of random curious stuff that's happening in the world. For example, if you can see, I'm wearing a corduroy hat, right? As you know, because you're hip, people are rocking corduroy hats. I'm actually curious why. Like, just like in the late 90s, early 2000s, corduroy hit pants. Right now, corduroy hats, corduroy jackets, they're hitting again. I like to know why. Like, and then I'll go into ChatGPT or Google or social media and actually spend an hour trying to figure out who popped it off. Did Michael B. Jordan rock it at Paris Fashion Week and that got it going? Is there some TikToker nobody's ever heard of, but she's the next fashionista? Was it pushed by a brand that really wanted it to pop off and they had the juice at the moment to get it done? I always want to know why things are happening. What Netflix show is working? What food trend is happening? What part of the world is popping off? Like, why? Everything is curiosity. Everything is why. But here's the thing about it. Even at my state of where I am in my career, where my time is now really valuable, I still think that I out-curious most people. And so for me, I saw Ice Spice happening 6 months before people really felt it, because I'm in the trenches. I'm looking at social. I'm looking at Google Trends. I'm just listening. It's funny. I'm such a talker. You know this, actually. You and I had this night in Cannes talking about a pretty important subject, around race and life. And you got to see a version of me that most people don't get to see. We sat on a boat, you and I, for 3-4 hours.
Yeah.
And I only talked once.
Yeah.
And it was not only because I was being respectful to the subject matter, it's because I listen way more than I talk. Y'all see me when I talk. 90% of my day is behind the scenes. And so I think the reason I've always been on it is I'm not sure how many people are outworking me in paying attention to culture. Culture, the way we now talk about it, which is like, let's call it what it is, Black urban culture, which is the cool. But then, Midwest culture, hunting and fishing, country music, Latin trap, food trends, diet trends. Why is stoicism increasing? Why are people walking barefoot in grass for grounding? Psychedelics, Japan, anime, video games, Fortnite recall. Like, I'm in it.
I think that's one of the reasons why, I don't know if you saw when I was on the boat, I had a manga comic I had created, and the artist that actually created it. And similarly, I think that curiosity is one of the strongest tools that we don't, like, I read Chinese and Korean fiction every night, and I've been reading it for a while now. Curiosity is probably going to be the thing that allows us to really solve some of the wicked problems just by
100%. 100%. And it's my entertainment. When people watch Netflix, or, obviously I love my sports teams, so they get precedent when they're playing. But for me, it's like fun. Think about all the people that love curling up to a book for 2 hours before they go to bed, or watching the same movie, or watching a Netflix show, or drinking wine, or going out at night clubbing. Like, it is my great joy to sit for 2-3 hours of curious culture digging a night. And I just think I'm outworking the world on that. And I also think I'm naturally talented at making the next leap, which is, some people could read and see a lot of trends around cupcakes, but I have a knack for understanding what does that mean and what's going to happen next.